Well, the 2022 Bam Bassin event on False River is in the books, and I was able to get that. So I just want to do a really quick recap if I can. Um, I talked about it in the kind of the preview to the tournament. It's my home lake. I spent a lot of time on it, and as funny as it sounds, that really does kind of make things. It can make things tough. Um, the event definitely did not shake out the way I thought it would. The way I thought it would did not catch them the way that I thought I would catch them. Had to make a lot of adjustments. That water being warm this time of year it really threw me off because I don't know if I've ever fished it with it that warm in December. So I kept thinking back years past. Okay, in December I've done this, in December I've done this, this time of year I've done this. None of that stuff really even was relevant. Um, but I had to find out the hard way. I tried it and I just realized that it did not work. So to start off, I launched on the north end at Jim's place. Really, really nice, easy access, easy in, easy out kind of ramp. Not a lot of crowding like there is at the public ramp there. And I had about a 30-minute paddle to get to my first spot. I wanted to start on some main lake, some steeper main lake banks to try to get one or two big bites early, like in the first hour and a half. Then I was going to go to the area that I thought was more of a numbers area. So I stuck with that plan, and that first hour and a half or 2 hours, I hooked one fish on the first cast. Was about a 14-incher that I flipped in the boat and flipped right back out into the water. So that's how my tournament started. First or second cast, it's one of those. So yeah, I wound up bailing on that stuff after about an hour and a half. I think that was really important to allot only a certain amount of time to try something. That so often we'll burn way too much time on something that doesn't work instead of changing quick. I've really tried to work on that this season. Is quick changes. Honestly, if something doesn't work in 20 minutes, you can, a lot of times you can scrap it. But I really thought it would work, so I stuck with it. Did not work. So paddled back down closer to the ramp where I launched and started a trek back away from that ramp, if that makes sense. And just, man, nothing was coming together. At 11 o'clock, I didn't have a fish. Finally, flipped under a dock that I've fished a few times. I don't fish it much. And boom, got a good bite. Set the hook. Comes up and jumps. It's a 17, and it throws a hook. So I'm like, well, it was kind of a weird place for one to be. It was a cloudy day. It was up under a dock. I didn't know what was going on. So fished along, picked up a 13-incher on a spinner bait, just kind of randomly in between some docks. Didn't really tell me much. Went back to the dock. I lost one on about 45 minutes, maybe an hour later. Made the same flip. Boom, one nails it. I said it's a good fish. I mean, heavy. Get her in, man. It's a 17.5 fat pre-spawn fish. It's not the one I lost though. So I was like, what are the odds of there being two under this dock? Anyway, got the picture. Flipped right back in under that dock. Boom, get another bite. It's a 16.75. I'm like, maybe they're bedding under the dock. I don't know why there would be two females right there next to each other. Get a picture of her. Flip back under the same dock. Boom, 14-incher. So I'm like, okay, I think this is they're wanting to spawn, or they're getting close to they're doing something that's spawn related, because the bites were kind of those defensive bites. They weren't really trying to eat it; they were just moving it. So for the rest of the day, I was able to catch. I think I caught 8 more bass, all from spawn spots. Like I just started running. Like, okay, where do I think they would bed at if they were bedding? Reed clumps on the bank. Got a couple from little corners of bulkheads. I mean, shallow, 1.5 feet, 2 feet of water. And that's how I was able to pull off the second place. It was a good bag too. 82.5 is what I ended with. I had 4 really, really solid fish and 114 that I just could not get rid of. Congratulations, Chris Murphy. Thank you, Bam. Thank you, everybody who was involved in the tournament. It was a great event. And don't know if I can make the next one on Toledo Bend, but I'm definitely going to be back at False River for the Swamp Country Kayak Bass Associations, the Bass Nation, the Louisiana Bass Nation Club event coming up here in January. Probably do a preview for that one, and hopefully a good recap at the end of it. Thanks. I do want to mention a couple last things actually before I go. I've got a really cool project in the works with virtual guide trips that are going to be available through Patreon. So in the next few weeks, be on the lookout for that. I'll explain a little bit more, probably on the Facebook page. And also want to say a huge thank you to Sean Johnson and his company, his photography company, for sponsoring the BAMP plaques. Man, he did an absolutely awesome job on this plaque. Let me show it off one more time. Very cool. You get the map, the map of the body of water that the tournament was on. Just really awesome work. Anytime y'all get a chance to support Sean, if you have a wedding that needs to be shot, any kind of photography work, please give him some consideration. Send him a message, and he does fantastic work. Thanks again.